Hello and welcome to this special edition of Talktime. Once again, my guest today is the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Mr. Conrad Sangma. Mr. Conrad Sangma, once again, welcome to Talktime. We are talking in Guwahati today, Mr. Conrad Sangma, and the elections in Assam are coming. Your party, the NPP, also has a presence in Assam, and you have already said that NPP is going to contest the Assam elections. Now, I want to know, since you are an NDA ally, you are a partner of the BJP, and you know that the ruling party here is the BJP. Now, are you going to contest the elections just symbolically? Are you serious about contesting elections, or is it just to please your party cadres here who may be working hard to make a presence? Are you serious about contesting the elections in Assam?
Let's start off with the fact that NPP has always maintained its identity. So we will be contesting this election on our own. We have done that in Manipur, we did that in Meghalaya, and we'll continue to do that in Assam also. Number two, any party, and especially NPP, when we are going to contest election, we have to be serious because this is really what we do. So it's not going to be a symbolic election, but it's going to be an election where we strategically look at the areas and the constituencies where there is a possibility for NPP to come up and win the seats. So it will not be an election where we may go full base where all the seats will be contested. It may be very, very specific, but it's going to be a very serious election, obviously.
But are you going to also put candidates, suppose considering the winnability, that is what you said.
Yes.
But if there is a candidate from the ruling BJP in Assam, are you going to put candidate there?
Absolutely. I mean, as I've said, we've maintained our identity from day one. We've always said that BJP is a different party, NPP is a different party. We may be in coalition together, but we have a different identity of our own, different ideology of our own. So therefore, if the need arises, which we've done before, even in Meghalaya and in Manipur. Also, we will contest elections, even if there is a BJP candidate.
Now, coming to the fact that, BJP is a different party, NPP is a different party, but you are part of the alliance. Let me take you back to your own state, Meghalaya.
Right.
The chief of the BJP president in the state, Mr. Ernest Mori, has been going hammer and tongs against the MDA government, against your government from quite some time now. Right. This despite the fact that you as the MDA chief or MDA head of the coalition, you held a meeting of all the political parties. You said that you are ready to listen, yes, but they are free to place their grievances, their points of view in a proper party platform instead of talking outside the party platform.
Right.
But that has not happened. We have seen that he has been raising various issues. And your party president in the state, Mr. Dr. Kharluki, has been saying that if the BJP is so unhappy in Meghalaya, they are jolly well, they are free to walk out of the coalition.
No, 90% of the BJP wants Ernest Mori to go as president.
In Meghalaya?
In Meghalaya. You ask any of the party leaders within the BJP, you ask both the MLAs will tell you, why this person is president, we don't know, how long will go, this person should go. The BJP themselves are now deciding within themselves, 90% of them have decided that the president must change because of the kind of behavior he's been showing. This is not mature politics. Once a person is in a position as he is, one has to understand that there are responsibilities, there is a way to conduct oneself. You're no longer an individual. You are in a position. So if a person can't understand that, the person shouldn't be in that position. So BJP themselves now are contemplating to remove him. So I have nothing to say about that. Obviously, what he's doing is not correct. And I have always maintained that in a coalition, if there are issues, we must sort out the differences and discussions within the house, rather than going to the press and talking about it. So it's one individual's talk. I really don't care
so
too much about that.
You don't consider the points which he has raised as the points raised by the BJP in Meghalaya?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You ask any of the BJP people, they'll tell you, we don't know why this person is talking like that. So they themselves are not very happy.
No. As the chief minister, do you think these kind of statements by a coalition partner, president of a party, which is a part of the coalition, do you think that is impacting or that is adversely affecting governance to some extent at least?
No, it's not affecting governance at all. I mean, as I said, that he makes the statements, some of the press people pick up those statements. The moment, he won't be there, it won't make any difference at all.
Now, have you raised this issue with the BJP leaders when you meet them in New Delhi?
Yes, I have. I have informed them that as a coalition, we must work together. This is not a way to behave in a coalition. We have been responsible when it comes to other states. wherever we are in coalition together, be it Arunachal, be it Manipur, be it Meghalaya, we've always maintained that we should maintain at least a certain decorum in the coalition. So I have informed that to the BJP leadership. They're very much aware about it.
But Mr. Conrad Sangma, can you just dismiss and reject the issues which are being raised by Mr. Ernest Mori? Forget the fact that he has been raising this outside the MDA platform, that is another matter. But the issues, he has been talking about rampant corruption in the Garo Hills Autonomous District Council, the Gentia Hills Autonomous District Council. He has been talking about illegal transportation of coal, and he has been demanding an independent inquiry as far as the Garo Hills and the Gentia Hills Autonomous Council alleged irregularities. What is your problem in launching a proper independent inquiry?
We have in fact put an audit inquiry into this, and we have put in a from our side the department has gone into the inquiry, and we are awaiting that report to come out. Now coming to the issues, and you're right. I mean, there is no harm in going into the issues.
Yeah.
We would like to look in the issues. In fact, it allows us to also look back and see where things are going right or wrong. So it's very good. It's just that the way it's being done is incorrect. So that's number one. Number two, as I said, that absolutely we have no worry or no issue going into more inquiry in case it is required. So we are very much open to any kind of suggestions that are there.
So are you telling me, Mr. Chief Minister, that your government is ready to see now that you have a audit inquiry?
Right.
Beyond that, you might ask for a judicial inquiry, or
If it is required, definitely
you are ready. You not hesitate.
You don't hesitate.
You are talking about the autonomous council irregularities.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is public money, so facts should come out. If there is anything that's wrong that's going on, and if we find any kind of evidence that's moving in, and if we feel that there needs to be further investigation, definitely be open to all the suggestions and all the options.
Now, another issue being raised is the issue of illegal transportation of coal and the continuing illegal coal mining despite the ban by the NGT. The Supreme Court had lifted the ban, but they had given a lot of riders, and now the allegation is that it's going on. The recent case on the 21st of January when 6 miners, if I may use the word, they died in that accident. Now that has once again exposed the fact that illegal coal mining to some extent is still going on. Now what are you going to do about this? How are you cracking down on this?
Number one, the transportation that takes place, we are ensuring that every transportation takes place with proper valid documents. Now, one has to realize that there are different mechanisms through which permissions are given. So, therefore, in the recent past, there were cases of coal that was seized, and illegally, we seized the illegal coal, and those were auctioned. So, there were situations like these, and based on that auctioning, those coals were transported. So, whatever transportation that takes place, I just want to go step by step.
Yeah.
Is with valid documentation and is being done legally. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to mining part, now the incident that took place, because you mixed up many aspects, the incident that took place, all the inquiry that has been done has clearly shown that there was no mining as such going on there. There was no coal.
But they were planning to mine. They were making the preparations to mine.
Well, they could have been moving, but there was no illegal mining at that spot, at that
moment.
At that moment, absolutely. That's number one. Number two, wherever there has been any kind of activity where there is any evidence of illegal mining taking place, wherever we catch illegal transportation going on, we do take action based on the MMDR Act. So therefore, now let me be very clear also out here. Because we have section 302, doesn't mean that murder doesn't take place. There is a law in place to check and punish those who do commit the crime. So similarly, there are laws that are there. There is a system that is there to catch people if they do it. So is there illegal mining going on? There could be, and that is why we catch people.
Yeah.
We have closed down many places. Is there illegal transportation going on? As I said, 90% of the transportation that takes place is going with proper documentation. If there are illegal transportation taking place, we have caught hundreds and hundreds of trucks that have been going without documentation. They have put a
Yeah.
case against them.
True.
So it's just being put in the press in such a manner that, you know, you just the term every single truck moves, there, you know, it's supposed to be illegal.
But you see,
so I think that kind of
but the problem
just let
is,
me finish that.
yeah.
The kind of you know, the marketing or the kind of image that's been given is
Yeah.
not correct. That's what I want to say.
Right. I take your point. But the issue of coal mining, coal transportation is being raised by people like Ernest Mori, who is your coalition partner, people like Saleng Sangma, NCP leader, an MLA, who is also your coalition partner. Mr. Saleng Sangma was on a tour taking media people recently. He also said that there are a lot of trucks have been seized, etc. Now, the allegation is that the unscrupulous elements, I'm not saying that the government is involved in doing this, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that the allegation is that the same challan is being used again and again to transport, and a lot of people are saying that, okay, there was a figure that 32 million tons of coal was extracted before the ban, and this 32 million never seems to end, despite the continuous transportation. That is the perception.
Right.
How do you respond to this?
No, that's a perception that those people have. As I said, if you can create stories the way you want to create stories. You can go and you can click pictures and you can, you know, come out with a different story at your own. But the point is, there is a system to check all of this. There are documents that are there. So if the validity is there, where is the proof in the story that the others are making? So it sounds very great when this other leaders and individuals come out with beautiful stories because it sells. But the fact still remains that whatever movement, whatever transportation takes place is being done in a legal manner. And wherever there are cases where it's not being done in a legal manner, wherever there is an illegal transportation or movement that's taking place or mining taking place, we are catching people. There is a law in place and system in place, and many cases have been filed and many people have been caught.
Now you see, from the time you came, you have been taking some rather extraordinary measures to improve economy, to boost tourism, so on and so forth. That COVID came and everything got disrupted. That's another story. But now, you know, coal is a huge revenue-earning mineral. Now, Meghalaya is not such a place where there are a lot of industries. So this is something which you cannot, and this has been happening for decades now. You suddenly cannot say, oh, okay, completely ban mining and forget about this 33,000 mines, estimated coal mines in Meghalaya, and so many thousands of people are involved. You cannot one fine morning say that, nahi, kuch nahi hoga, forget about all this, let them go to hell. You can't do that because you have to provide them with alternative sources of livelihood, etc. Yes. But my point is, when the NGT or the Supreme Court is saying that do mining, but modernize these coal mines, use scientific methodologies, and go ahead. So, what steps are you taking to modernize these coal mines so that, you know, there is some amount of safety measures?
You're absolutely right. In fact, when we came in, the ban was still there. There was no forward movement towards trying to find a solution to this entire fix that was there, where before 2013, the process that was followed by the people was okay. And then suddenly NGT comes in and says it's not okay. So therefore, to resolve that issue, nothing happened till we came in. It is in 2018 that we filed a case in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court heard our case and lifted the ban. And then now the process in which it has to be done has been laid down. And I mean, I cannot jump the gun right now, but a lot of applications have come in. A lot of applications have been forwarded to Delhi, and we are very hopeful that we will get a very positive result soon. So I don't want to talk too much about it because it has got a lot of legal aspects to it. NGT is involved, Supreme Court is involved. So there are so many other factors. So I would just let the work talk and let the things happen. Things are moving very positively. The Coal India auction also is moving very positively. So we will see things happen. These do take time because, as I said, there are too many processes that need to be followed. It's a new thing that's happening. So whenever it's new, everybody is very careful about things. So all these aspects are there, but let the work, show the results show the entire thing. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I can only tell you that very soon we will be seeing another positive step in terms of legalized, proper scientific mining moving forward.
But that has to take place on the ground. We'll wait and watch what happens in the days ahead.
Absolutely.
Now, another issue that, I mean, hogging the limelight as far as Meghalaya is concerned, and this is the issue of the inner line permit. Now, there are two things. Tourism is a major industry in Meghalaya, and your government, you personally, have been trying to do whatever is best is possible for to boost tourism in Meghalaya because that is a source of livelihood. So many people can benefit out of that. Now, what is the first of all? My first question is: what is the status of the ILP? Is Meghalaya going to get ILP at all? Number one, and number two, if ILP comes, is it not going to impact adversely on tourism? First question is, what is the status of the ILP?
Number one question which about ILP is that we have passed a resolution in the House to appeal the Government of India to implement the ILP in Meghalaya. And that resolution has been forwarded to MHA, and the MHA is examining that right now. Honorable Home Minister will be coming again to Shillong in the month of March, and will be spending 2 days. And he will be meeting different organizations, different individuals, and ascertain and see how to move forward in that. So it's a process, it's going on. Let's see how it takes place, and we'll wait for the MHA and Government of India to respond. Number two, the issue that you're mentioning about tourism and ILP, I think a lot of people don't realize that these two can exist. It's not necessary.
Coexist.
Absolutely, they can coexist. These are two different things. When it comes to ILP, you have to understand what is the sentiment of the people. People are not saying that nobody can come into our state. People are not saying that we are not allowing outsiders to come in. The only issue is about the identity of individual. And if you go anywhere in the country today, whether it's Maharashtra, whether it's Bihar, whether it's UP, whether it's Assam, identity is something that everybody is proud of. There is nothing wrong in it. So here people feel that ILP will help in protecting the identity
Of the people, indigenous people.
indigenous people. Now, is ILP the only way to do it? May not be. There may be other options also. So
Right.
we can explore. So let us not mix that with tourism. Now, when tourism comes in, so many people go to Europe, so many people go abroad. You have to go and get a visa. You have to go and get the permits.
Yeah.
I mean, still people go. So it's not that ILP coming in is going to destroy the tourism sector. Yes, it will cause inconvenience, but there are technologies today available, there are mechanisms available that can minimize the inconvenience to anybody. It's like, somebody saying that buying a ticket to go to a place could be an inconvenience, but you do it because it's a habit now. So therefore, it's a question of just creating the system and putting the system in place. So as I said that we are looking at ways in which we can protect the identity of our people and ensure at the same time that the economy doesn't get disrupted and the tourism grows. So both can go hand in hand and coexist.
But your government is in favor of the ILP in Meghalaya.
Yes, we have passed a resolution for it. We have passed a resolution for it. When the entire issue came up and of CAA and other aspects. So this, the sentiment was there that more mechanisms are required to protect the people and the identity of the indigenous people of Meghalaya. So therefore, when that situation happened, the government felt that yes, the ILP would be one of the strong mechanisms to protect the people, the identity of our indigenous people. And that's why the resolution was passed, and it was passed unanimously in the House.
Do you think had the government not come up, had the center not come up with this CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, do you think the ILP issue would have still hogged the limelight in Meghalaya, or still that will be one of the raising issues in Meghalaya?
No, you see, ILP has been there, demand has been there for a long time. But of course, when the CAA happened, then it reminded people. And made people feel that there's a threat again. And that is the reason why it is an issue that came up more strongly, I should say, when the CAA the act was passed. Of course, the Government of India has given protection to the states in the Northeast. For example, Meghalaya, the 6 scheduled areas are exempted from it. But still, as I said, that exemption is for the territorial exemption of the state. But the movement of people that could take place from other states is really what worried the people, and therefore it did raise a concern when the CAA was passed.
So that is the concern, and therefore the renewed demand for the ILP, because
Absolutely.
there may be movement of people from other states.
Absolutely.
Now, coming a little bit to politics, I'll not take much of your time. Coming a little bit to politics, there were rumors that about a dozen or more legislators belonging to other parties were planning to switch to the coalition. Whether they join, somebody would have perhaps wanting to join your party, that is the NPP. So few others perhaps wanted to join other coalition partners. But at the end of the day, the rumors were that about a dozen people were trying to come into the MDA fold. Is it true? What is the status? You obviously had been talking to many of them.
Isn't that politics? Doesn't that happen everywhere?
Everywhere, but tell us, what is happening at your
if that
end?
doesn't happen, then there is no politics, you see.
So that comment is very significant, you see.
So talks happen, discussions happen, and obviously there are movements continuously taking place. And in a coalition government, it's a natural part of a coalition government for these kind of discussions to take place. And yes, from a positive point of view,
I'm saying that these were the 12 people from were legislators from parties outside of the coalition.
Absolutely. No, I'm saying in coalition politics.
Yeah.
In coalition politics. Yeah.
Yes.
Not in the coalition. I'm saying in coalition politics.
Yeah.
This does happen, and I don't think one should be surprised when there are talks taking place from one side or the other side. It's natural. It does take place. Status of that is, I think, to be seen. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and watch. You have neither confirmed, you have neither denied.
All I'm saying, all I'm saying is that these things happen in a coalition government.
But your doors are open. Will you say that your doors are open for legislators from outside the coalition to come and join you?
Absolutely. We're a party also and a coalition also that's looking at stability in the long run.
Yeah.
So therefore, yes, if it stabilizes and strengthens the coalition, then definitely we'll explore all the options.
Would you expect them to put conditions and then come, or you want them to come unconditionally?
Let me go into the details. And then I'll get back to you.
We will talk into the details. Now, on Wednesday, you were the chief guest at a function in Guwahati, where NEDA convener and senior Assam BJP leader Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma's book was released. You actually released the book, along with, of course, the Assam BJP president and the Assam speaker. During your address in that function, you made a very interesting statement. You said that the leadership in the entire Northeast today. There's a bonding. There's a connect between them. There's an understanding between them. Although you may belong to different political parties, you are from the NPP. There are leaders who are ruling Northeast who are from the BJP. There are others who are part of the coalition. Maybe people from the NPF, if you take into account Manipur is concerned. So various people coming together, leading the Northeast, giving leadership to the Northeastern states. You said that this is the most congenial moment in the Northeast where any issues can be sorted out through a phone call or through just a discussion, one-to-one basis. It's a very significant statement. And you said that do you think this is the golden age as far as the Northeast is concerned? And how do you look at it? A little bit, if you can elaborate.
Yes, I think what I mentioned yesterday in that program was that today the kind of leadership that is coming up, number one, it's a very forward-looking leadership that's coming into the Northeast. Most of the chief ministers are very progressive and also at the same time have a very strong connect. So therefore, if we combine our efforts and rather than just simply looking at our state alone and look at ourselves as a region and project our region to the rest of the country and the world, we can gain more, whether it's Act East. Now, for example, I always say, now when we look at Act East, it's very easy to say Act East for the whole Northeast. But then there has to be a micro planning where Assam and Meghalaya need to look south, act south with Bangladesh. And we need to figure out a regional story out there, an economic policy that will help us get advantage out there. At the same time, another Act West is for Mizoram and Tripura, again with Bangladesh and with Myanmar's Act East. So Tripura and Mizoram may need to work together to figure out a policy that's going to work for them in that region aspect. So what I'm trying to say is that the region needs to come together. That's number one. And number two is that the leadership today in the Northeast that exists is capable of bringing that vision together. And number three, the center is playing a very crucial role in ensuring that the Northeast is pushed right ahead. So therefore, center may want a lot of things to happen.
Yeah.
But if the states don't become active, if the states don't participate, if the states don't come together, we may not be able to achieve that goal. So that's what I felt. And yes, you're right. It, in a way, is a really good time for us to not only take the states forward, the region forward, but also resolve some of the critical issues that may exist among the states and differences that we may have. So it's a good time. May not be easy, but I think this could be the best time where we could really make a lot of difference.
Since you mentioned about the activist, now a lot of people, there are a lot of opinion who think that a lot of people think that Northeast can be a connectivity partner, but it cannot be a commercial partner because we hardly produce anything, or even if we produce, we don't produce at a mass scale, which we can export, taking advantage of the connectivity. So we are going to remain the underbelly of that highway, which connects the Eastern India to Southeast Asia.
Right.
Now, as an important political leader, as a leading political leader, as a thinking politician from the Northeast, how to remove this thing? We will just remain a connectivity partner and not a real commercial partner.
You see, if you look at it from that angle, then we will never be able to move forward. So we have to start somewhere. Now, if you look at the big picture, one may think that yes, that's how we will be. We will be like under the flyover and everything will pass through us. That may look like a big picture, but this is the reason why I'm saying that the Northeast states need to now come up with their economic policies, with their strategies together and present it to the rest of the world. So yes, Meghalaya alone may be a smaller state, Mizoram alone may be a smaller state, but then if we look at the Northeast together and present ourselves as a market, as a Northeast market, present ourselves as a Northeast product producer, we will be able to give that scale that you are talking about to the rest of the world.
Scale is very important.
Yeah, and we can do it. We can do it. But then, as I said, every region and every area will have to work out that strategy, and this is where the states need to connect and work together.
No,
so I'm for example, I'm working now very closely with Arunachal Chief Minister. So I spent some time in Tawang with him. We got a lot of time to discuss economic activities and see how we could move forward. So we said that how about us collaborating for tourism? So how about figuring out if there is some way we can work together to have different programs to attract tourism, so that Arunachal and Meghalaya can partner in one way or another.
Now, are you prepared to take the leadership? Are you prepared to take the leadership in institutionalizing these things? You are saying that you are in touch with the Arunachal counterpart. Pema Khandu is also a dynamic political leader. Now, my question to you is, it's two individuals talking, but are you going to prepare to take the leadership in institutionalizing these things and market the Northeast?
It already is institutionalized.
But states are working on their own.
Yes, but I'm saying
where is the sink?
The sink is can happen through a Northeast Council. So the Northeast Council today is there, and it's an institution that has been there for long, was meant to bring all these strategies
but it has not really succeeded in providing that zing.
Yeah, that's exactly my point, is that this needs to be pushed, and Government of India now is taking this very, very seriously, and that is the reason why Honorable Home Minister is going to come. He wants to sit and work out on how NEC could play a bigger role in these aspects. So all those things are moving forward. And Centre is taking the leadership in this. The Honorable Prime Minister himself is taking the leadership. The Honorable Home Minister is really taking the leadership. And as I said, now we just need to connect the dots. So that's what's going to happen. I'm very, very confident that the coming years should be very positive for the Northeast and for the rest of the states also. But we need to realize, as I said, that a bit of coordination needs to be there among the states, and we need to present as ourselves as a region to the rest of the world. That's how we'll move forward.
Let's hope that the dots are connected sooner than later.
Absolutely.
And on that positive note, Conrad Sangma, thank you once again for
Thank you so
coming.
much. Thank you so much.